Is this clever upgrade or just a pocket Android phone glued to a USB port? The Tbox Plus promises to turn any factory-wired CarPlay or Android Auto system into a fully independent Android computer that also does wireless CarPlay and Android Auto. The pitch is simple. Plug in, boot into Android, run YouTube Maps, Spotify, even SIM-enabled data. Under the shell is the common Snapdragon 665, also labeled QCM6125, in many car AI boxes. Configs vary from 4 plus 64 to 8 plus 128 storage with GPS, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth TF card, and a SIM tray. That means true standalone apps without tethering if you add data. Expect 3 modes: pass-through for normal wireless CarPlay or Android Auto, full Android launcher on the head unit for streaming and side-loaded apps, and a hybrid where you bounce between both. Reality check. Performance is fine for streaming and maps. Heavy multitasking and gaming are a no. Voice assistants work, but feel a step behind a phone. No magic taps into your car cameras or gauges. This is an Android tablet in a box, not a factory system replacement. Now, the vibe from customers is a split screen. On the bright side, you see a steady drumbeat of 5-star notes that praise fast replies by named reps like Coco and Estella and credit support for pushing firmware fixes or replacements. Those point to a real operation that answers emails and ships units worldwide. On the caution side, you also see patterns. Repeated phrasing shows up across reviews. Bursts of activity land around sales pushes. And the negatives that do appear repeat familiar themes. Heat buildup on long drives, random app freezes, cars that work great one day then need a reset the next. In forums, we also saw hotspot oddities and steering wheel control quirks that require back-end tweaks or firmware. None of that screams scam. It screams typical Android box compromises where hundreds of car head units meet dozens of phone models and a new OS update can break the magic. Translation: patience and firmware matter. If you want zero tinkering, this is the wrong toy. Business reality check time. Carlinkit is not a pop-up dropship brand. The main domain dates back years, and the site footer shows a Chinese ICP filing, which signals a registered domestic web presence. The company publishes a physical office address in Huizhou within a known industrial park and lists phone and multiple support emails. Manuals and OTA files are posted with dated version numbers, including Tbox Plus updates that track Android builds. There are multiple storefronts and an Alibaba presence that line up with a manufacturer profile. Shipping and returns are where the shine fades. The official after-sales policy limits returns to 15 days and states a buyer-paid return plus a nearly 1/5 restocking charge with a narrow window to cancel after purchase. That is harsh compared with mainstream retailers, and it is a real part of the cost picture if you roll the dice on fitment. Payment is standard cards and common processors. Arbitration traps or negative option games are not obvious, but read the fine print before you click. Price and value land where the chip tells the tale. Snapdragon 665 is the workhorse of this category and pops up across rebrands at tech shops and e-tailers. That keeps prices competitive and means the Tbox Plus is not using unicorn silicon. Expect roughly $140 to $200 depending on memory and sales. That is fair if you need Android apps on the dash and a clean wireless experience in one device. If you only want wireless CarPlay or Android Auto, then a simple adapter costs far less and often gives a snappier pass-through. If you want heavier horsepower and better thermal headroom, then the step-up Tbox variants or rival boxes with newer chips cost more and still inherit the same compatibility roulette. Red flags are limited to the stiff return policy and the usual firmware dance. Verdict is legit with caveats. Worth the hype if you love tinkering and want Android on your head unit. Worth the headache if you hate debugging. Next step is comparison shop specs and buy from a retailer with an easy return window.